we do believe that the concept of monogamy is European.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Majority of Africans do believe that.
Do you believe that?
Should be. I think so sometimes.
You're in the right place. It's Unpacked That with Miabelle. Stoneboy's in the building.
Yeah.
More of you is out.
Send me who I'm in die.
Ooh, and
Outside.
I just got a live version, a live piece.
See it.
You're here in New York, living your best life.
I'm trying.
All the way from Ghana.
Absolutely.
Your first performance of More of You was at Vivo.
Mm-hmm.
So you're already making history.
Okay.
You showed me the video.
Yeah.
And Rockstar. Now, listen, before we get all up in the conversation, I need you to know that on my show, I brag on my guests, okay?
Absolutely.
Because it's a blessing that you're here today. You're doing so much. The streams have always been crazy. You've been putting out these albums. You're repping for the people.
For
and you haven't stopped.
No way.
You've been working since you was in the 4th grade, okay?
Absolutely.
And that's what brought you here today. And you've been doing amazing things. You're signed with Def Jam. And I'm really proud of you. And I'm really grateful that you're here today.
Thank you. I'm really, it's good to hear,
you got to hear that as often as possible because that's what's going to keep you going.
The encouragement, is important as well. So, I'm grateful.
Yeah. Okay, so More of You. Who is that about? Who do you need more of? Because the way that you singing on that record, it's a lot of intensity in there.
Definitely.
Tell me about her, please.
Okay. It's not about only one person. It's for everybody.
Okay.
I stand at a point where I have to connect the dots. I have to bring the intentions and the emotions of what people want to share and say to other people to life. You know what I mean? As a creative, as a musician. So when I'm doing that, I have to actually assume a position of, one of those.
Yeah.
So that when somebody picks the record and they're listening to it, they can translate that information to the ones they love.
Yeah.
And so this is like, it's straightforward. Like it speaks of wanting more of that person that you love. So it could cut across being only probably, let's say, like a sexual relationship into all spheres,
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like they say, don't wait, when some people are great, so much to be in your life, especially your loved ones, you know what I mean? Sing it to them, tell it to them, like, more of you, like you're irreplaceable, etc. It doesn't make you weak.
You have to let them know.
Exactly. So
that's why we're on this planet.
You know what I mean? So it's like, when you take the first lyrics, it says, now woman be this, your body the tantalizer, Maggie one more picking, picking. Ghanaian CC, Normally we get the finance girls, but you be unique, You know what I mean? Like, just praise that girl, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And let her praise you too.
And once you start praising her, she's going to give you that same energy.
Absolutely.
See,
so that's what the song is about. More of You is a beautiful love song. I love it.
Yeah.
And it says, send me who I'm in die. La, 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 la. It only means like, if I don't see you, I can't sleep.
Right.
It's cheesy.
Is that how you are when you're in love?
Yeah. Definitely. Because just let it flow, basically. It's nothing, There's nothing wrong. Because you're not going to be feeling that way every day.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Love. So the times that you feel that way, express it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I want to take it back to the very beginning. Your early childhood, 4th grade, you already knew that this is what you wanted to do. Now you grew up in Ghana, born and raised in Ghana. Okay, what part? Because I was in Ghana in 2019, by the way.
See, which part? Which part did you stay there? Accra. Yeah, I was born in Accra. In Ashaiman, in a city called Ashaiman.
Okay.
Which is the, one of the toughest cities to
you
come out
was in the
from.
hood?
Hood levels, the vibes. Most of the best things are always in the hood.
Absolutely. That's where all the creativity stems
most
from.
Most of the best things that ever happened to the world, is out of the hood. So Ashaiman is the name of where I come from, and I was born there. I grew up as well. Attended schools over there. Find out my talents right in the hood. Okay. And then, we began growing it from primary, from grade 4.
Is it from just like, being outside playing with your friends? Because when I did go to Ghana, that's all I seen. The kids were out there dancing, singing.
And at the time I was born, there was no, the video games or the computer games were not this much.
Right.
You'd get some little Nintendo game here and there, but it wasn't like that deep. So we had enough time to play with our innates or what was right inside of us. So you did a lot of sports for games amongst your peers in class and school. So I'm that child. I was one of those kids that were like bubbly everywhere, bubbly in the church, bubbly at home, making music. Like it just comes to me easily.
Yeah.
And guess what? I didn't really, have any proof until I seen that in my son and my daughter.
Wow.
Like, bro, it's just too much.
Identical.
I get calls from school and say, yo, he's not going to sit down. He's just performing to his mates.
Really? Are your kids in Ghana?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I get calls. That's how deep it is. So now I can understand what I was doing back then.
Right.
To have started very early.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My son, my daughter, like my son don't sit. He's only
dancing
4.
all over. Wow.
And so you can imagine. And he'd been doing that from when he began school.
Mm-hmm. And where do you feel you got it from? Are your parents musically inclined?
Knowing the little history that I do now, it's like we're blessed like that. You know what I mean? It's in our family lineage.
Right.
So, everybody comes. Somebody must carry that on.
Right.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
It's that deep. So, and it's my turn.
When did you realize that the talent was real and that you could take it far? Who told you sounded good, man?
You're right. I remember this like yesterday. Like a friend of mine had a sister who, I sang to. And I remember this. She said, oh, your friend has a good voice. That's one of the things I always remember about somebody telling me I had a good voice first. That was outside of school when, I just come out of senior high school and then I was going to take this very serious. Yeah. So that was it. But I was just about to start senior high school. Mm-hmm. Yes. And I'm like, I've been doing this from grade 4 and all these ones, but that was the first notion I still remember that she said I could do this if I wanted to. Mm-hmm. So when I went into senior high school, a friend of mine actually, all my friends were like, bro, come on, you could do this. So what one guy did was he actually put me up to one other friend who is one of the biggest rappers in Ghana right now, Sarko
Really?
Die.
What's his name?
Sarko Die.
Sarko Die.
So we went to the same senior high school. Uh-huh. So that friend of mine went to, because he had only started like a radio program. Right. Like that program that you could go to and then do freestyles and be put on. So he went to, push for me to get on that program. So he went to see the guy like, yeah, you need to get this guy on there, man. He's dope. Yeah. So they're like, okay, next weekend I should come over to the studio. So I went over there on a Saturday and that's how it all began. Wow. How old were you at that point? I was 17 or probably 16. Wow. Yeah. Honestly, I was in senior high school. So,
was that your first time in the studio as well?
No, that wasn't. It was like right from when I was, my cousins had studios in the bedrooms and then we'd be doing
and
stuff.
You would record then?
Yeah, so I've been open to, music from time. We keep recording. I would take my father's cassette tape player and put an empty cassette over here and, I'll just play, press record and I'll be beating box and I'll be doing some flows on that and recording it. That's how I started to record. So I could play that tape back and listen to what I was doing. Way before I started recording into a microphone. So, okay.
When did you start taking it seriously? Do you remember that moment where you were like...
So all along when I was in like junior high school coming up, I was just doing it. Entertainment, you find me there. Like anything that had to do with entertainment, I'll be there. Right. Writing some scripts, some plays, everything, I'll be there. But in senior high school I was just like, a thought came to me one time. I'm like, so what if you get out of school and you take this on fully? And like, so I thought about it. And that was when I started thinking, okay, fine, I could. Because I was still in school, so there was something to do. Right. Whilst I still think about if I was going to go all out with it or not. Right. And then when I went on that radio program, then it sealed it up for me. I'm like, okay, fine. Because I was still in high school. High school once, so I was fine. I'll just do it after school. Right. So I took it serious right from there. So sometimes I skip class, I just chase it. So I knew I was nurturing my professional talent. I was nurturing my profession in quotes. Yeah. While I was still in senior high school. So immediately I finished, bang. It was music for me all through.
And what was your family saying? Because I know you have a big family. You're one of 7? Okay. Did you kind of get lost in that because you're one of 7 and it's like, he's just making his music and doing,
exactly.
They weren't really paying attention.
Exactly. So, but I mean, they didn't discourage me, you know, aside the fact that they know he's just doing music.
I like when people don't pay attention, by the way.
Yes, they didn't discourage me. But then I think I got some encouragement from my sisters. I have like 5 sisters and a brother, you know, so at the time, one of my big sisters would always, you know, music was in the family, like they sang in the church, I did in the church too. So they were just cool with it. So that's why I said I didn't get like no discouragements, but they were just looking at where it was gonna get to. So when I started going on to that radio show to battle, it's like a battle, versus. They were always
with other artists?
With other artists, that's how it started.
And would you have to freestyle or would you do
you have to.
music that you already had?
No, freestyle. Freestyle. And I never lost a battle till today.
Never?
Yeah.
When was the last battle?
I was like, probably,
you still do it?
No. Right. Before I completed senior school, I was at 2006-07. That was the last battle I ever went.
Explain how the battle works for me, though.
It was okay.
Are you talking shit about the person you're battling, or are you just going?
You're just going.
Battle rap in America is crazy.
It's crazy. Like that was it was a platform for rap, for music, basically. So you had rappers, you had those who could sing, you had those who could do dancehall, you had everything. It's just about doing the best of you, you know, but it has to be freestyle.
Okay.
You know, and probably whatever you would have written from home, who knows? Because you're fresh, you're an underground artist, so nobody would have heard that verse already or anything. Right. But you have had to make sure that you kill it. Like, you know, when you're killing it, we know you're killing it. It doesn't matter if you wrote it from the house or it's just off top.
You just feel the energy.
So that was how it was. We pitch each other against, you know, that's where we grew from. So we got the support. My family was like a fan base. So that's when
they saw you were winning.
That, they were like, yeah. I mean, like I'm saying, look, I'm blessed to have had a family like that. They've always been super supportive. Like, I didn't have to win for them to get on my case fully, but they just were supportive of me. Like, keep doing it. You know, I have that kind of a family.
Do you feel like that's like African culture in general? Or you were blessed to have a family like that?
Yes, but I wouldn't definitely be the only, you know, person who would be blessed to have a family like that. But as African families, if you're doing something that is wrong, then realistically, you know, you would have even people who are not your parents try to correct you.
Right.
That's how we grow. Like there's an adage that says that it's only when you're in your mother's womb that you belong to her. But once you come out, you belong to the society.
Oh, wow.
So that's how we live by. So everybody's looking out for somebody. You know, the elderly ones will correct you. You know, people will care for you. They wouldn't care if you... We've had people living with us in our home where we don't even know them. We don't have no family ties with them. So one of the deepest parts of African culture is really what it really is. I mean, people don't highlight that enough, but there's more of that extended responsibility that goes through even into the society. It doesn't have to be blood related.
Yeah, it's like an open door policy.
Exactly. So I think it's stemming from that point as well, where they have to, you know, if you don't get the support of your family trying to do something, then what?
Right.
I mean, it shouldn't be only an African thing only. I think it's just real. It's just right.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And I think the way that we've been conditioned in America to work, that sometimes that kind of pushes those stereotypes on us where it's like, oh no, you got to be a doctor, you got to be a lawyer, you got to be that.
It's everywhere.
You know
like
what I'm
that.
saying?
Exactly.
Because of those conditions. But if we didn't have those, then it would be open to do anything. So it's cool that your family.
Right. When I was doing music at the time, you know, thing is, yes, everybody would love the doctor, the white collar titles, you know. I think from that time, taking it into critical consideration, things have changed a lot.
Yeah.
From the 2005, 6, 7, 8. Like, that's early times when I started. So I'm just saying, like, people wouldn't even love their kids to play football, all of that. But from 2000 and, I don't know, I'm just saying, it's an observation. Let me not put a year on that. When we started realizing that it's cool to support your kids, not to be only doctors.
Right.
Or lawyers.
They're creative talents.
They're creative talents. We've for the past 10 years or 15 years, I think a lot of people have allowed their kids to pursue their talents instead of forcing them into the cycle of becoming doctors and that.
Right.
Now you have people sending more people used to do it, but you have more people sending their awards to football schools, to music schools, to just become the star. You know what I mean?
Because they see people like you.
And then there's money now. They realize that they can actually live on that.
Right.
What it is I think, our parents were scared and skeptical if we were going to be able to make a living
and survive.
You know what I mean? Because they've seen what happened in our era.
Right. And they struggled, especially when they come to America. And that's why they enforce those things on us.
It's everywhere. It's not only when they come. It's not only when they come to America.
That's true.
Right there in
the native lands too. Wow. That's a lot. So when did you transition from, being over there in Ghana making music to now you're in the States and catching the ear of people not only in your country, but everywhere, internationally?
Yeah. When did I transition? I've always done my style of music was always gonna take me outside of my shores.
Right.
Because it was highly inculcative of, a foreign style. A foreign style in the sense that it wasn't a typical, traditional style to say.
Yeah, because there's hints of everything.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm actually a dancehall reggae artist from the scratch.
Wow.
Having all my...
Who are some of your influences? Like, who are you listening to as a kid?
I listen to the Sean Pauls, the Beanie Mans, the Buju's, the Bounty Killers, the
Vibes Cartel,
Anthony B's, the Vibes Cartels,
Lady Saw,
the Pamputes, all up onto
Popcorn,
Gully Pop, from Popcorn to Idonia to High Octane to Damian Marley. See,
that was your thing right there.
Trust me, and I think I probably would be one of the African artists to have collaborated with Jamaicans the most. I have like 44 collaborations.
Yeah.
Like 44 art collaborations by Jamaicans only.
Yeah.
Including Beanie, Sean, the Godfathers, and you know what I mean? So I think the transition would definitely have come one day.
Right.
And we're still transitioning.
Yeah. Into
spreading that kind of style into the West proper, because I think we don't have that here as much. I can't point to two African artists that is doing what Stoneboy is doing.
Right.
Carrying Afrobeats, reggae, and dancehall to the top at once. You see Stoneboy, is there because reggae. I've got reggae songs. I just jumped on a collab. I've been doing all these reggae ones, have reggae hits, Morgan Heritage,
the dancehall,
and dancehall too, and Afrobeats too, and so, I know the world can't wait to witness such powerful, act like all in one. I consider my style as all in one. You find reggae, Afrobeat, and dancehall. It's Afro dancehall. So,
how does it feel to see your peers, especially out here doing so many great things? We just had the All-Star game and it was Burna, Rema, Thames. And America is finally catching on.
It's
in the biggest way.
It's so, look, that's not the only heights, bro. That wouldn't be. Because, look, they're filling up the Madison Square Garden, doing crazy shit.
Yeah, Wiz.
It's been coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's been coming and it's just getting greater and greater. When I won the BETs for
That's
Best
a big
International
deal.
Artist, it was in 2015.
Wow.
Like 8 years ago. So it's been coming. So I've been a part of the squad that, have pushed it to this point. And we're still sitting on top of it and pushing it and bringing in more and more and more squads.
What inside conversations do you guys have amongst yourself? Are y'all like, them motherfuckers, they gonna see?
Yeah. Interestingly, it's only right, because I tell you, the West has been preview to African music from time before our generation. It is because we are here now and present. That's why we think the impact is now. The impact has always been
right.
you could go all the way back into the 60s and 70s. People were traveling from Africa and doing music over here and were known on that level.
Yeah.
Either behind the scenes or in front of the scene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were always involved. But right now, I think we have more of Africans, you know, involved like in more. Yeah. So if it gets more, then the attention is going to be more. Mm-hmm. Then the impact is going to be more. So that's just how I see it. And, you know, it's not like, for me, it's not like a certain kind of trophy where you're like, oh, you're happy, finally, yay, that, you know?
Because you knew it was coming. Because that's where it originated, if we're really being honest. Man.
So, you know, exactly. Yeah. So it was going to get here one day where we're going to be enjoying African music at the level where we would understand it better. Yeah. You know, because now it's been mixed with English, with the Yoruba. There are several factors that are technically playing, you know, a part in the takeover, in quote. Right. Yeah, because now, if you take the sound, it's not typically African as African sound would be in the days of our fathers. Yeah, in the days of our fathers. Yeah. With the E.T. Mansons, with the Osibisas, with the Kiki Jans and the fellas and that. Yeah. Their sound, if you take that sound on today, even the sounds that crossed over, the fella sounds and the E.T. Manson sounds that crossed over in the 60s and 70s, did have elements that people could relate to here in the West. You know, so I think, like I said again, we've built up upon that one and we've gotten people to relate to it the more. Right. For instance, a big song as Burna's song. Which one, Last? Last. That's like you see the technicalities involved. Yeah. That's whose song?
Tony Braxton.
Tony Braxton. So there's always like something need to be done that over here can relate. Yes. And then you use that as a bridge.
Yes.
And so
to cross over.
We're just doing that more.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
With the project that you have, you didn't name it yet, or did you?
There's a name. It's coming out soon.
Okay, so the name is coming out soon. I heard the project, but without the name, and I hear different styles all throughout it. Even the first joint, I hear the originals calling. I hear fella in them with the drums.
You see that? You see that?
What is it
and
called?
The trumpets and that.
Life and Money. Is that going to be the first one?
No, that's another song, but that's not that one. That one is called Manoji.
Got it. Okay, so when
it has an African name, you know, a name from my tribe. It means literally it means I'll keep on. Ooh. I'll keep on. That's literal transliteration, you know.
Say that for me again.
Like keeping on. Basically.
Right, but what is the African word?
Manoji. Yeah.
Keeping on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's from the Ewe language. Yeah. Because I'm an Ewe. That's my tribe.
That's your tribe. Ewe.
Yeah.
Okay.
From Ghana.
See, we're learning a lot today. Now, talk to me about Gidigba. Did I say it right?
Exactly.
What is the translation of that in
Firm
English?
And strong.
Firm and strong.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. That makes sense now that I listen to the record again. Yeah. So you have a few joints on there, a lot actually.
Trust.
And the features, I haven't been able to put my you know, I'm not sure who's who. You have an artist, I think it's on the Manaji one from the UK who's rapping on it.
No, that one is Life for Money one.
That's Life for Money, okay. Yeah. Who is that? You can't tell me yet?
I don't know. Can I?
Can he?
Okay, that's Stormzy.
I knew it was Stormzy. It's just I had to make sure because you know some of them be sounding the same a little bit. I knew it was Stormzy. I'm really excited about just the project coming out. Yeah,
big tune. I tell you, like.
I knew it was Stormzy.
I mean, it's been 3 years. It's been 3 years coming, and it's only right to get the song, to get the music into this space. Yeah, you know, like I always say, there's gonna be more of us because Africa is a continent. Yeah. It's not a country.
It's a continent. Ghana is the country.
Exactly. Nigeria is a country.
Nigeria is
Kenya,
the country. Yes.
Guinea, Sierra Leone, Mali, Sudan. You know?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And how would you say it differentiates in sound?
Ooh.
As far as, because you are from Ghana.
Yeah, as far as
the different countries in Africa. So from Niger and, you know, Kenya. Everybody's talking about a Mapiano right now.
Amapiano is South Africa.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I said, it's similarities and the the connectivity that it is for me. It's not even the difference, because there's no difference. It's one people who have like trillion uniqueness.
Yes.
You know, that's just it. So you can dig and find a billion styles, but coming from the same people. So then it makes it easier for all of us to relate.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, when I hear an Amapiano joint, I relate. When I hear a typical Afrobeat joint, I relate. When I hear a typical African old style, like a million styles.
You relate.
So there are similarities and uniqueness and, you know, diverse. It's just dope.
What would you say is the difference?
It's just dope.
In the people, though? Because I had Davido on the show, and he told me in Niger, they spend more money on their women over there. See, it's things like that. That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah,
what they got going on in Ghana, in Nigeria, and all the other countries in Africa? What would you say is the difference? Like in Ghana, do they dress a certain way? How can you tell a Ghanaian man from a Niger man?
That's the thing. You might not be able to tell. You might not, and I can explain this, you know. You might not be able to tell because nobody's dressing, you know, traditionally as that anymore.
Okay.
You could have been able to tell if we still really much dressed very traditionally, because that would be written all over.
Right.
Because when an Ashanti man wears their clothing, traditional clothing, there are similarities, but you can state it clearly from a Northerner.
Yeah.
When a Dagati man dresses, and when a Yoruba man dresses, from Nigeria, you can also tell it directly from an Igbo man.
Yeah.
Or an Efik man or an Ido, you know what I mean?
By the style.
Because by the style. Because there are traditional apparels that we have that can easily make you, oh yeah, that's that.
Right.
But currently in our modern class, we're not really dressing like that anymore for you to, not anymore, I mean like the youth, we do that only when we have traditional occasions like weddings and etc. And we want to feel, you know, so you couldn't tell except by the dressing, because we all have one same face, same head, same black, same.
Yeah.
So I'm not able to preach the things that would divide us. I'm not able to, because it's really not.
We're all one.
We're all one. I'm not able to, even if I try to find the difference. All I find is similarities and uniqueness.
I love that.
That's all I find.
You are so positive.
Exactly.
And that's how you gotta keep it.
Truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth right there. Like, simple.
Right.
Like, that guy could be a Nigerian. I can't tell.
Yeah.
You know, but we're the same.
Right. Of course.
Man. Yeah, man. But on the spend, you know, it's an African culture. Let me address that as well. I said that on a breakfast club. Like, we spend on our women.
You like to spoil your women. Look in that camera and tell them American motherfuckers to start spoiling the women. Start.
Okay.
But go ahead and finish telling me what you're about to say.
I would have.
Start.
I mean, it's good to spoil it's good to spend.
I feel a butt coming on.
I'm going to break it down because I don't want to fall in nobody's bad books, because I've not really checked what's happening over here in the States about that. Some things that I know is that you can split bills when you go out with your woman, right?
I mean, people do it, but I don't really agree necessarily. But yeah,
but that's business. It depends
on the circumstances.
That's business, and that's depend on the circumstances. You know, so I wouldn't be able to just throw dust at that kind of arrangement,
right?
Because there must be an understanding already,
right?
As far as I'm concerned, if we do have an arrangement and understanding to be splitting the bills,
then yes.
That's a great one.
Right. That's also life.
That's also cool.
Yeah.
But naturally, as far as I'm concerned, people have different backgrounds.
Yes.
But we grow up knowing that you have to be the man of the house.
Right.
And take care of the home.
Right.
So that includes your woman.
Right. And not even necessarily financially, because let me tell you something. Exactly. It's not easy out here.
Exactly.
It's not easy out here. A lot of people be playing around like they don't split bills. Y'all be splitting bills, and that's okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
But what I mean as far as like really, I think that the way you guys pour into your women is different. Like you guys worship.
That's obvious.
Right.
Because we respect the woman, we respect the woman, and the woman respects the man too.
Right.
And any woman that gets that amount of care and protection and etc.
Mm-hmm.
Is definitely doing what she has to do.
Right.
Which is being, I repeat again, that can be explained in so many ways, submissive, respectful, caring, taking care of, being able to turn a house into a home.
Right. And that submission comes.
You know what I mean? So it's two ways. And so
Right.
you get you get the whole package of what a man comes with basically as an African. That way, if you do otherwise, it's
Right.
not compulsory.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't be doing otherwise and be expecting the results thereof. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's not like there's no condition.
Right.
I think there's a condition also.
Yeah.
But we don't probably just pay attention. But that's it.
What about the stereotypes of African men having a lot of women? And, I know that culturally, too, there are different marriages in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I went to Ghana, I learned so much about, I forget the name of, the particular kind of wedding. If you do have like something where the man has more than one wife, like that's something that you consent to. And then there's also a monogamous situation where it's just two people. Yeah,
this topic is all over the world. It's really
it's a part of the culture.
It's really
and they're
cultural.
Like names for
it.
it.
It's really cultural. You know what I mean? Like Africans do believe that we do believe that the concept of monogamy is European.
Really?
Majority of Africans do believe that.
Do you believe that?
Should be. I think so sometimes because
I didn't know that.
You see, there's a lot of information now. We're in an information age, and we are all reading and learning, and seeing a lot more things. And I'm a man. I can speak for a man,
right,
and be very honest about it. So literally, there are several reasons, different types of reasons why people do stuff, and it doesn't mean to me that a polygamous man is enjoying more than a monogamous man.
Right.
Vice versa. I don't.
Right, because it's all subjective.
It's all subjective and it's all choice.
Yeah.
It's all choice. Somebody has the financial capacity, the moral capacity, the mental capacity
to deal with
that.
Yeah.
So it's a thing of choice.
Right.
But I think the concept of the multiplicity of having and all of that does really stem somehow culturally, where you find out that other school of thoughts will tell you that there are more women more than men.
Right.
And procreation and etc. and that. So in some cultures, a man that is well-to-do and can take care of more than one has to actually do their duties, has to actually extend.
Yeah.
And so they would have to, get a few more, however. But realistically, we all know the truth that men really, are somewhat naturally,
right.
Yeah. And the topic there on and goes on and on and on.
It does.
It goes on.
It does. And like we said, it's subjective. And, as long as all parties know what they're getting involved in, to me, that's what matters the most. And we are not here to judge.
Absolutely. And for me, it's not even that, it's not deadly. There's so many things that we should really be worried about.
Right. And other things in relationships that break relationships as opposed to cheating and those kind of things.
Exactly. Yeah. There's so many other things, that we should also be paying or giving equal attention to. And I think, they would make a lot of relationships work.
Right.
We need to support each other definitely in relationships. But coming from Africa, a man is always, I don't want to talk too much, but sometimes men feel so much pressure because that's the notion, that's the culture. So naturally, even if they can't carry the weight,
they feel like they
can't seek help from the partners. You know what I mean? And it gives the partners a right to be like, okay, I'm done with you, I'm leaving. When sometimes a man just needs support.
Right. Oh,
so I think
that's some real shit right there.
Yeah, exactly. So that's another downside. But I think
it's important for men to be honest about that, though. I know in society it feels as if you can't be because you're supposed to be the one wearing the armor and doing all these things. But we living in a new space
Exactly.
where I feel like men need to be more
So
vulnerable.
I think that's where the bill splitting is coming from because
Right.
of such, certain arrangements. And therefore, I think using
The conditions.
because I think, so take it from this perspective, right? Majority of the women, or I've not done I've not done any survey,
Right.
but I think you would find fewer number of women who can provide for themselves, right? Being completely, womanly,
right,
to their partners in all aspects. If I'm getting my words right.
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
In terms of being submissive, in terms of being...
Yeah. Because if you're doing everything by yourself, then you naturally just have this,
exactly,
I gotta go and get mine.
Exactly.
Hello.
Then naturally the rules would want to change on your side.
Yeah.
Right? So then, if the man is also doing all of that, you don't expect the rules to change on the side.
I understand what you're saying. I do understand. And I think that's why it's like a give and take situation.
That's what I'm saying. So this is some real talk.
Yeah.
But in the end, like you're saying, it's subjective. Whatever you do that gives you peace in a relationship, that's what definitely you should go for.
Right.
And, I think we should all seek to understand and read wide and that's how we go.
Yeah, and deal with each other as humans.
Because we have a lot of monogamous, relationships that are thriving more than polygamous ones.
Yeah.
And we have polygamous ones that are
thriving more than, It's all different.
It's all the understandings.
Now, with the stardom that you've acclaimed now, what are some things that you look back and you're like, oh, I'm not dealing with that anymore? Because you've come to, I think even to get where you are now, it's a lot of healing involved. You got to kind of look beside a lot of things. Everything's going to kind of get in your way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what are some things that you created boundaries for where you're like, I'm not dealing with that kind of energy, or I'm not even going to address this kind of situation or be in this kind of space because I need to grow?
Wow. That's very broad. And I think it comes with growth anyway. The more you grow, the more you know certain things, the more you avoid certain things.
Right.
You don't go into a full altercation with everything.
Right.
Knowing and growing.
Is that something you had to learn in time?
Yes.
Were you a hothead back in the day where it's like somebody?
Yes. I think I'm a person of a high energy, and
right.
Coming from the hood as well, it didn't, it just fit into it,
Yeah.
But as you grow and you experience a lot of things, then you realize that, you have to do things differently.
In a different way. If you want to grow.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you do want to grow, you do have to do things differently.
Because some people are stubborn and they'll keep bumping their head into that same wall.
Grow, definitely. Maybe sometimes people enjoy the feeling of the trauma.
Yes.
So
and they don't even realize it.
Because it's all sort of like on dopamine kind of feeling. When you keep bumping into that, to be honest.
And it's comfortable. There's two different versions of comfort. Yeah. Comfort in misery.
Yes.
And, just being comfortable with having the same surroundings.
Exactly. And also the fear of, the weakness, not even the fear, the weakness. Or you don't even find strength to come out of it. So
or the fear of success.
Exactly. So
it's scary.
Exactly. So you find a lot of reasons to just stay there sometimes. But I mean, for me, I've transitioned good enough, to be honest, from a ghetto boy, coming all the way, getting to a level where definitely, family is proud of me. I'm proud of myself too.
Yeah.
My 2 kids, my wife, I've come a long way, bro. So yeah, man, I've learned a lot of things and I'm still learning, but my name is Livingstone, bro. Livingstone. I'm a hothead, papa.
Oh, man.
You know the vibes. Yeah, man.
What advice would you give to young artists in Ghana who want to do the same thing that you do, who see you and they're like, yep, that right there, this is what I want?
Discipline and hard work. Discipline and hard work. That's it. Being very honest to yourself.
Yeah.
And, praying as well to the divine source where everything comes from.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that hurts me the most to see is some of my friends follow the music journey for years. And bro, it's only them that cannot see that they can't make it. you can't discourage anybody, but then you know that they have the passion and the love for this. And definitely everybody's supposed to be hopeful and, have faith that they're going to make it. But definitely only them can see that. So when people waste time that much, it hurts me.
Yeah.
So sometimes, or most often, I say that whilst you keep hustling, you have to pray about it as well, so that you can see signs and see directions.
Yeah.
To be able to live your life. In the end, we're just here to live a life and go away. I didn't really necessarily choose to be famous. What's famous, bro?
You were following your purpose.
I believe so. And if you check it out, at the point in time, all I was left with is to focus on music, even if I didn't like it.
Absolutely.
But I loved it. It's something I had to only decide to be like, okay, I'm sticky, By the time I even decided, that was the only thing in my way, in front of me, that I could work with.
Yeah.
So that's like a big sign, and I didn't turn back.
Yeah.
Lots of naysayers, but I still pushed. So all I can say is that discipline, focus, and prayer, so that you don't waste time on the journey. You could be probably a writer, but you want to be a performer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you could be a performer,
and that's
but
why you have to do it for the right reasons.
Exactly. That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. So,
I love that.
Yeah, man.
I love that. Now, before we get up out of here, what can we look forward to with the music, the album?
Yo, I'm excited about this first project, with Def Jam.
Yeah.
And this is big. This is big. I know I'm gonna look back on this one, and generations are definitely gonna be inspired.
Yeah.
To say, hey, that artist doing this stuff,
making history.
Because, this is a big album coming. It's my 5th studio album.
Yep.
And it's loaded. It's loaded. I know they're going to love it.
It's jam-packed, y'all.
It's loaded.
It is.
More of you is out of the album, and therapy is also. So you guys can tell what it is, I keep bringing the diversity into the thing every time. Giving you some Afrobeats, reggae, and dancehall kind of feel,
And we're so excited for you.
Absolutely. I'm grateful. Let the world get ready for this one. Make sure you guys get your streaming apps ready.
Get ready, y'all, because it's going to be a movie.
Subscribe to the YouTubes if you haven't, to the Spotify's, etc., social media handles, because it's about to be fire right now. All of my, American people that's tuned in, go check out Stoneboy, Stonebwoy, the only boy from Africa with a Jamaican spelling.
I noticed that, the W.
Yeah, because, you know what I mean? It's a young godfather kind of situation for me, and I'm happy to see everything grow to this level. So if you ever heard Afro dancehall, Stoneboy that coined that word, not that it has never been done, but the ways that I'm doing it is new.
It's different, yeah.
Yeah, man, you don't know. So go check it out.
Yeah.
Big respect to everybody locked in right now. One love.
One love. He's in his own lane, y'all. Stoneboy. I love it. Thank you so much. You're in the right place. It's Unpack That with Miabelle.